Hello, my friends. How are you? Like Dave here. I apologize about the clanking that you're hearing in a lot of my videos. It is the ice cubes in my thermos clanking around. I wanted to go for a hike today, and I wanted to check on my infamous marble experiment and tell you guys a story that interests me. And it interests me because it kind of hits home, where it's a story about someone who goes hiking and they know the trail like the back of their hand, and they disappear. Not only that, they're with people when it happens. I mean, even being with somebody, in this case with two other people, and to disappear like that, it happens so quick. It's so easy to just disappear, apparently. But I want to check on my marbles before I begin this weird story. I think that the marbles will be untouched, but one of these times I'm going to come out here and I'm going to come check on these marbles, and something's going to be different. But it looks the same. Yes, indeed. Oh, well, a marble moved. It might have rolled. It was here. What is this? It was right here. I'm going to put it back because. So a little animal might have come along and moved it. But I got these pretty well pushed down. So an animal, little creature might have come by and nosed it, checking it out. All right. I think I'm going to cross the river today. I went over this way a week or so ago, and I didn't go that far. The trail started closing in on me, and I got slightly uncomfortable with it. I don't know why that will change today, but we'll see, right? Maybe I don't feel uncomfortable. I was talking about this with my buddy Gary. Why we were on his back 40 Saturday. No, I don't remember. It was a few days back. I think it was Wednesday. And it's so quiet. Why? Like, this is not common. I've hiked plenty of places, including this one, and including Gary's back 40, and we were on his back 40 at the time. I mean, can you hear that? Or not hear it? I mean, why is it so quiet all the time? It's just not normal, guys. Boy, did I get some crap on my last video, I'll tell you. I think maybe just my video is reaching more people or something, and maybe the YouTube gods are recommending it to people that don't usually watch my content. But I'm kind of getting a kick out of. I mean, it's tastefully done. I mean, there's been a couple of rude things, but I mean, it doesn't. I'm not too concerned about it. But it's funny that I can tell when it's someone that's never watched my video, and they leave a comment that's a little disparaging, but you know, I'm nice in return. I keep it nice. Boy, this river is just dried right up. I gotta say, in the springtime, this thing is raging. Well, let's cross. Well, I say cross the river. Let's cross the dry creek bed. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm not going to get crazy into detail about it because there are, like I heard this story. It was a couple nights ago. I was chilling out and I was eating some double stuffed Oreos. I'm listening to this story of this missing hiker. So it's a story of this. This happened in September, late September 1981 in the Great Smokey Mountains. And this young lady of the age of 58 goes for a hike with her two friends, and they are in a campground in the Great Smokey Mountains. And the campground is co-owned by her father. And she's been hiking this particular trail for 2 decades. So to say that she's familiar with this trail is an understatement. Also, it's called Deep Creek Trail, and a creek runs alongside of it of the same name, Deep Creek. But it's not quite a trail. It's more or less a dirt road. I looked on a map, and also in the video I watched, showed a picture of the trail. And it really is pretty much a dirt road. And to get lost on this trail would be, I mean, it's next to impossible. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I mean, you're not getting lost. It's a 4-mile in and out trail. So it's a 2-mile hike, then a turnaround, and then you come back another 2 miles. It's like 4.25 miles or something like that. And this woman, Polly Melton, I wrote it down just so I don't get it. Yes, Polly Melton, Melton. And she goes hiking with her two friends. And I guess this is something they do very often. And they hike up to the 2-mile turnabout. And they turn around, they're headed back. This is in broad daylight in the early afternoon, I believe, late morning. And about 1/4 mile or 1/2 mile or so into their return trek, Polly is speeding up. She's starting to walk, starting to hike faster than the two other women that she's with. And I guess they yell ahead and say, "Hey, you're hiking awfully fast. What's going on?" And apparently she just kind of laughed, turned around and kept going. And she crested this kind of a rise around a bend. And her two friends didn't see her on the trail after that. I figured, well, we'll get back to the campsite and she'll be there waiting for us. Well, that didn't happen. They got back to the campsite and she wasn't there. Hey, bear. This is a good ambush spot for a mountain lion. All right, stop, Dave. Don't say that. Don't say that. So they ask around at the campsite. Oh, I have a little bit of a something in my way here, huh? I wonder if I can knock that down and step on it. Let's see what we see. Please excuse my filming accoutrement, if that's even a word. There we go. All right. Objective passed. And so it was around 5 p.m. and they say, they get the the park rangers involved to alert them and say, hey, you know, our friend was with us hiking and we got separated a little bit and we haven't seen her since. We came back and she's not there, and everybody in the campsite that they spoke to, nobody saw her. Nobody saw her return to the campsite. Bookmark that for a moment. Wow, is that? Wow, that's broken in kind of an odd way, isn't it? Well, I guess not. I mean, but you'd think the brake would come out this way. I don't know. Okay. I haven't been out this far in a couple of years, so that's been, it's a couple of years old, I suppose. Yeah, it's interesting. So, back to the story of Patty. So now her friends are worried, and so before this, they alerted the park rangers. They went back and got their husbands, and they went and retraced the entire trail. They went up to 2 miles, came back to 2 miles, nothing, and that's why they had alerted the park rangers. Something's definitely wrong. So there was a search, a pretty large search, and they had search dogs. After 5-6 days or so, please don't quote me on this because there are people on YouTube that have talked about this story in much more detail. And the ones that I've seen talk about this, I see them they're reading off of a tablet or a laptop or a computer, so they can get the information spot on. But there was helicopters involved, or a helicopter. The search dogs never picked up her scent, and they eventually abandoned the search. She was never found. Yeah, and so that's why I find this story so interesting, because it's not like she was deep in the Smokies. Wow, there's a tree I never saw broken either. Where have I been? All right, on my way back, I gotta measure these. I never saw these before, or maybe I haven't. I'm just forgetting. That really looks really old. Maybe that was here. It might have been. Again, and it can happen so easy. And again, it wasn't a rugged trail in some thick, dense rainforest. It wasn't easy to lose your way. This was a place that she was so familiar with that she hiked it for decades. I mean, that it makes you wonder. And so again, I wanted to let you guys know where I got this from. I was watching the Lore Lodge. Love that guy's channel. Aiden, I believe his name is. He does such a good job on these stories that I am a little bit embarrassed to tell this story, because I don't have a tablet or a computer in front of me and able to read right off the screen. But I like telling these stories just from memory, but I get a lot of stuff wrong, and I always say, don't quote me on any of this. But in general, the highlighted parts of the story, I'm pretty accurate on that. It was 1981. It was late September. There was a major search. They never found her. But there's some weirdness behind why or how she could have gone missing. Well, this I don't remember. And this, whenever there's something blocking the trail, that's something I would have remembered. Look at that. Wow. Hey, bear. Hey, bear over there. I would have remembered that for sure. And that looks like it's got a little bit of yellow to it as well. So maybe just a year or so. I don't know. I don't know about that. But this was not there the last time I hiked out here. But. So just a small. Hey, bear. Disclaimer that I know I get stuff wrong. And there are those who are very quick to point it out. Wow, this trail has grown in something fierce. Sheesh. I'm ducking to get in this trail. So there was some kind of something talk about this woman might have chosen to go missing. And then again, she had just filled out a prescription for Valium, which nowadays they don't call it Valium. I don't know if it's Adderall, or I don't know what today it's called. I don't think really Valium, the word is used that often. This trail is closing in on me. I should have brought a machete. I got to come back with a machete because this is, as you can see, it's closed in, and I'm not getting into that right now. Man, I hate that when I got to turn around, but I'm going to come back with a machete and take care of this, because beyond this is a field. And then beyond the field, the trail cuts to the right, and then it goes to the other side. Oh, how do you do? Little breakage. That trail goes to the other side of this, of McCabe. This is McCabe Forest. So turned back, failed, foiled again. That's okay. I'm going to get a machete. I'll have to come back tomorrow because I'm not going to hike all the way out. I walked here too, which is a pretty good walk, and walk all the way back to my home, get a machete. But I'm sorry, a lot of it, I stop a lot with my stories, and I think that can be irritating. But back to the medication, that it is possible that I think I had heard that she filled out her prescription that day or the day before that she went hiking. So there is a possibility that she took her medication or took a little too much, and she got turned around, like, she got a little disoriented, or and then there's always the perhaps stepping off the trail because of nature calls. Hey, bear again. I hear you, bear. Maybe she stepped off the trail and got turned around. But another thing that I had heard about this story was that the canines that were tracking her, they didn't pick up a scent. So that's odd. Like, if she had stepped off the trail, you would think that the canines would have picked up her trail, which is odd. Then there was the thought, was she kidnapped? Now, on that trail / dirt road, there is no motorized traffic allowed. So it's not like somebody in a pickup truck was driving by. Hey, bear. So like if she had gotten kidnapped, it would not have been on that road. And then along with that, she was not the lightest woman. I think she was 5'6" or 5'7", and she was kind of pushing the $175 or something like that. But so it's not like somebody would have been able to kind of scoop her up and throw her over their shoulder. And then it is said, her friend said, oh, she would have put up a fight. And as Aiden on Lore Lodge says, that doesn't mean she would win said fight. And then maybe was she abducted in the parking lot at the campsite? But that, again, that would have drawn a lot of attention. It's in the broad daylight. There were people out and about at the campsite. I guess there were some permanent structures or like mobile homes where people would come and they would stay 4 months out of the year. So it's not like there was just a bunch of people in tents. There were people out and about at this place. Hey, Bear. And to think that if somebody was to grab Miss Polly, then I think there would have been a struggle. There would have been some noise at least. And then there was kind of a question that did she disappear on purpose? Which is always a thing. You have to kind of think of that when it comes to someone that's missing and is never seen again, that maybe they voluntarily went missing upon their own volition, so to speak. Hey, Bear. I keep hearing something off to my left there. And I guess she was a heavy smoker. I guess she was a 2-pack-a-dayer. And she did not have cigarettes with her on her hike. And she left behind, before she went hiking, she put a pot of, I guess, pasta sauce on the stove. So she definitely, I would think, keeping that in mind, she had plans on coming back. Oh, this trail does continue. This is really muddy and swampy out here. I doubt it is now. I made my way out here, I don't know, some years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. This leads to a huge river, a big wide river. I think it might be the Contacook River. But it doesn't look like anybody uses it. But there is a blaze on the tree. So that must be on the map. I'm not going that way today. I want to get a machete and clear out that trail. So that is the story of yet another missing hiker, never to be seen again. Now, and I really suggest you go to Aiden's channel, the Lore Lodge. And I want to get this correct. I did write this down on my little tiny pad of paper. It's Polly Melton, and I believe I think that was just a nickname. Maybe I think her name was Pauline. Well, her name was Pauline. And now I kind of was I wanted to tie in a Bigfoot on this, and I decided against it. But Les Stroud excuse me, and I wrote this down as well. In 2015, Les Stroud did a Bigfoot, a Survivor-Man Bigfoot. It was season 6, episode 5. I mean, there are accounts of Sasquatch being seen in the Smokies. I'm not saying that that's what happened to Mrs. Melton, because I'll get mugged in the comments if I try to put that connection together.